Thunderbolts, pretty good movie. I'd say this is going to be just a full spoiler review. I mean, it's been 4 days now. If you haven't seen it, I apologize, but just go see it because it's a really, really good movie. I'm going to just start off by saying this movie I don't think is getting a lot of respect, and I'm not sure why. A lot of people are bringing up how Marvel since Endgame hasn't really been able to figure it out, and I kind of understand that. But Endgame was like this massive, huge culmination of movies that all came together to a single point. It was a decade of movies coming to a head, right? That's ended. That's gone. So now we have this new decade of movies. And yeah, some of them haven't been great. And, all that stuff happened with Kang the Conqueror outside. And now they have to switch stuff up. And it hasn't been amazing. But this movie proves that Marvel does still have it. I really like Brave New World. I thought Brave New World was really good and people hated on it for literally no reason. And I mean, there's a whole community of people out there that are just on Twitter specifically or on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, just specifically to irritate people that they don't like about a movie for political gain. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Enjoy cinema for cinema. Keep your opinions based solely on the material, right? Not some existential bullshit. That's how I like to view things. Now, that being said, and that out of the way, this movie goes to show that Marvel still's got it in abundance, right? This movie is funny. This movie has the biggest heart I've seen in a Marvel movie, probably since Captain America Civil War, maybe Captain America Winter Soldier. Like, this movie's got a big old heart, and the character interactions are great. Now, I was a little skeptical of what, I was hyped for this movie from day one. I had the luxury of discipline to not watch all the bullshit trailers that they were dropping left, right, and center. So I didn't know. I knew about Sentry and Void just because, of the comics, but I didn't watch any of the trailers. I saw the Black Shadow, and I saw his hand, and I stopped watching that trailer. And then other than that, the only trailer I watched was the pure cinema trailer, which I thought was great. I have a reaction of it on my YouTube channel if you want to check it out. Look, I had the privilege of discipline to not watch all that stuff. So I went to this movie just fully ready for it. Now, that being said, I was skeptical of the characters that we were getting, right? It's just a bunch of punching and shooting, like they say in the trailer. They allude to that a lot. None of these, 3 of them have super soldier serum in them, and that's great. Yelena, obviously a master assassin. John Walker's just the ex-military guy with the serum. So is Bucky. So is Red Guardian. And then you have Ghost, who can kind of teleport for a minute or vanish for a minute. But that's not really anything, right? That. And then you get all these characters together, a bunch of, let's be honest, D-list characters. Other than Yelena and Bucky, they're a bunch of D-listers. And I would rank Bucky and Yelena maybe B tier. But you put them all together and you get gold. You get absolute gold. You get absolute cinema, which is what they were promoting. And I thought that was bonkers because I was like, it's just going to be, a superhero movie in the style of Mission Impossible. It's not going to be this beautiful cinematic story and whatever. But I genuinely believe we got a beautiful cinematic movie. The story itself, we have an underlying tone of darkness and mental health coming from the most dark and depressed and torn apart characters. The story is perfect for that. The story and these characters work so well together. I just can't get over how good it works together. Then you get the heartfelt moments between Red Guardian, who, by the way, if he would have died, I would have rioted. My butt cheeks was clenched. That wasn't a joke. When Sentry puts him out that window, bro, I was clenched up. I was in the seat, in my seat. My wife was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "I thought he was going to die." You get heartfelt moments from Red Guardian and Yelena. You get heartfelt moments. Just Bob is just, the guy was a meth addicted chicken spinner. You know what I mean? And by the way, that comment he made whenever they were like, what's your like depressing thing? And he's like, I used to be a meth addicted chicken spinner. That was like a throwaway line for me at the start. I was like, that's nothing, whatever. I don't know what that means. And then later when they show him spinning the fucking sign dressed as a chicken on meth, that was I died in the theater laughing. Like, it had those kind of moments where it was just so funny. It had so many good callbacks. You can't say the word Bob enough. The Red Guardian and Yelena stuff was just so good. And then on top of that, Elaine from Seinfeld crushes it as a villain that you care about, like a villain that I enjoy watching. That doesn't happen a lot. Marvel ruins villains most of the time. Like, if you think about every Marvel movie, the villain lasts one movie. Other than Thanos, one movie. Kang doesn't really count because that whole storyline sucked anyway. You get Elaine from Seinfeld, and she crushes in this movie. If Bob and Yelena weren't such prominent parts in this movie, like with the best story and best arc, she's probably the like third best character. I mean, if you really break it down, she's the biggest plot device, obviously, creating the Sentry program and making Bob Sentry / the Void. She has great funny moments as just being a kind of bitchy villain. Like, it works. It's just so good. I love how Bucky was a senator for a hot minute, and then he's immediately like, how can I get out of this and go save somebody? I need to do hero shit because I'm bored. I'm going crazy and I'm bored. And then Yelena, I heard somebody say that Yelena's perspective is kind of like our perspective towards Marvel. Like, you're just doing the same thing. You're just making every day. You just show up to work. You make the same thing. It's boring. It's bland. We've seen it all before. And then you leave. You want to change. You want new stuff. And I kind of like that perspective. I don't think they were that fucking meta to go for that, but that does make a lot of sense to me. Yelena, though, being bored at work and kind of wanting to shine, I really like that, especially when you think about her sister dying, but being a hero. Then you think about her and Hawkeye. By the way, her and Hawkeye, Yelena and Clint on that rooftop, amazing. Dude, Florence Pugh's like a genuinely amazing actress. Like, she's so good. I know she's in a bunch of stuff, but like, put her in more stuff. You know what I mean? And the fact that like Marvel doesn't really like to do accents, they got rid of Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlet Witch's accent immediately. But Yelena in Red Guardian, I feel like they have to keep it because it's so good and it's so believable. And she's so funny. Like, she's a hilarious. Black Widow was never a good character, in my opinion. Now, I like Scarlett Johansson a lot. I like the character Black Widow. I understand that, like, there's probably some writing stuff that so it's not all her fault, but it was just a bland, like, ooh, I'll kill you. I'm an assassin. It was just that. Every single time she was on screen, there was never a moment where you were like laughing at something she said or like feeling the heart of something. Whereas like with Yelena, you want to know more. Like, you want every word. You're hanging on to every word. You think it's either going to be funny or it's going to be heartfelt or it's going to be like tragic in a way that hits home. It's just so many things. She's just such a good Black Widow or White Widow or whatever you want to call her. And I hope that the tagline, the new Avengers, really sticks. That being said, let's jump into the fight scenes, because for an Avengers movie, you get a ton of fights. And now Thunderbolts, asterisk, we know what the asterisk is for, obviously, the new Avengers, which I think is very good. Very good marketing and absolutely stellar, like, way to everybody was asking about the asterisk. And it was such a stellar way to just be like, it's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. And then 3 days later, they're like ripping a sign that says the new Avengers or whatever. And at the end of the movie, it's like, these are your new Avengers. I love that. I thought it was great. The fight scenes, there's really only three. There's the Sentry fight at the end with everybody in Sentry. Then there's the first initial fight scene with all of them in that room. And then there's one other like kind of mini fight scene where they beat up some guards before Elaine is like, hey, come on up. I just got that new drywall. All the fight scenes lasted less than like 3 minutes. And somehow this movie felt like a really good action. It was kind of like a Mission Impossible almost, where it's like a lot of planning, a lot of like, I don't know, spy type stuff, a lot of comedy and heart. And then there's like a couple of action sequences. Like there's a big jump off a roof and do a thing. And then there's a punch 'em up. And then there's a sad moment, and then maybe somebody dies, and then the movie ends because we're all friends and we all did this together. That's a Mission Impossible movie. That's what this movie was. So I kind of fucking nailed it in my synopsis of the trailer. Anyway, the 3 fight scenes we got, the beat 'em up out of the truck when they crashed the truck, that was really nothing. It was more funny that they were like going all in, and Elaine's like, guys, you could just come up. I like left the door unlocked. The first fight scene I thought was fine. I was kind of waiting for it to be over, if I'm being honest, because I was like, just be friends already. Like, I want to see them be friends. I don't really care about them fighting. I understand why it was in the movie. I liked it. But my one gripe would be like, you probably could have, it made them almost seem dumb. They could have figured it out a little bit sooner. But I get they're all stubborn. They're all mercenaries. So it works. It works for sure. But I like the friendship stuff, dude. That being said, the final scene, or the final fight with Sentry, he pushes Red Guardian out that window, and I could have cried. I could have cried. Then you got Bucky just getting his shit pushed in. You got Yelena getting thrown up against the fucking ceiling. Ghost didn't stand a chance. I love how, and John Walker gets his fucking shield turned into a taco, which is hilarious. That after they get the shit kicked out of him, John Walker goes, I'm not going back up there. He turned my shield into a taco. That's hilarious, dude. These actors are all great. All the characters are great. But I like how at the end of that fight, Sentry doesn't break a sweat. And then they all like pick each other up and just get to the elevator. They're all like, we have to get out of here because we're gonna fucking die and we don't want to die. And I don't know, it was just really good. I mean, it had its other action moments where like Bucky obviously blows up the cars and stuff. There's the shooting and the punch 'em up outside of the facility where they were about to get, burned up. But really, there's only 3 fight scenes, and I don't mind that. Listen, I love action and stuff, but I love what this movie did outside of the action. And it wasn't like quippy comedy, quip, like Captain America saying ass or whatever, and Iron Man being like, oh, he swears now. It wasn't like that. It was really funny. These characters were being their characters, and it was natural. It didn't feel forced or written. It felt like they were improvising the whole time. Like they were just a bunch of dickhead friends playing video games, just vibing. You know what I mean? It was so good. Let's get over that now. Comedy's great, action's great, movie's great. Love all of it. The trauma box stuff was crazy. It had me thinking like at when I was driving home, like what would my trauma box be? And like we all have them. Like everybody has that one place, that one time where where like when you get sad or depressed and you think about it, it just sends you spiraling, right? The fact that the movie turned a guy who's as nice as Bill Pullman's son into Bob, a meth addicted, like crazy guy, gave him superpowers, the sweetest, nicest guy, and then made him a god. And he like doesn't know what to do with that. And then the depression is the void. Like to do that storyline in a movie is, especially a Marvel movie, which is like geared mostly towards, if we're being honest, kids and young adults, right? Obviously they come at people like us, the nerds watching and whatnot. But the fact they did this storyline in a movie is genuinely bonkers. And I loved everything about Oh my God, I almost died. Oh my God, I almost died. And I loved everything about, I'm leaving that in. Fuck it. I'm not editing that. I loved everything about it. It was, like I said, dude, it was heartfelt. It was funny. The action was great. There was just so much good in this movie. And people are ripping on it for either the CGI of Void not being good or like, oh, he's just a silhouette with eyes. Like, yeah, that's fucking creepy. And people are making fun of like the little girl that got like splatted into depression or whatever because it was like, oh, we saw it coming. Who gives a fuck if you saw it coming? That's sad, bro. When I was in the theater, I thought Red Guardian was about to get it again. There was 3 moments where I thought Red Guardian was going to eat it, and I was sad at all of them. I don't understand why people are watching this movie and not enjoying it. Because this, like, Captain America Brave New World, I kind of gather. Like, I get it. It had its choppy moments. It kind of had its on-the-nose comedy. It's not Chris Evans. Like, you're doing a new thing. You're taking people away from the Captain America they know and love and bringing them this new one. I love it. I think Sam Wilson's great. I think Falcon was great, right? That movie's amazing. Could have done with a little. I really wish, the original actor for Thaddeus Ross was playing it, but instead of Harrison Ford. But I digress. This movie, there's like nothing to hate. There's nothing to hate. It is so good. A female lead. Oh, a female lead. Yeah, and she's dope as fuck. Oh, well, John Walker's supposed to be like this military guy, and they made him a bitch. No, they didn't. They made him funny, and they made him good. That's okay to do, right? Bucky had a big downgrade from when he was the Winter Soldier. Well, yeah, he's also been in 50 movies and had a huge story arc to the point where this makes sense for him. Oh, what's Ghost even doing in here? She sucked him Ant-Man and the Wasp. So? It's cool that she's in it. It's cool that they brought it around. You know what I mean? It's cool that they are taking all of our complaints about like where'd these villains go, where'd these characters go, and they're bringing them together. And then the people complaining about the Void in Sentry, that's just bonkers, dude. I think he's great. I think this movie's great. And you know what else is crazy is typically I don't like to listen to people on the internet, but I hear a bunch of people just saying that this movie's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But then they ask for a more grounded superhero movie. Or they ask for a superhero movie that is team-based instead of like these solo movies. Nobody's ever happy. But you know what? I'm happy. And I hope that you're happy because this movie bangs and rips. The last thing I guess we talk about is how they're the new Avengers. Sam Wilson has the Avengers like, I don't know, word patented. I don't know who his team's gonna be, but this team's way cooler already. I mean, if you gave them like somebody with superpowers, I guess you got Sentry. If Bob figures it out, then they're gonna be the best. They're unstoppable. I don't know who Sam Wilson's gonna have. Like Kate Bishop would be dope. Kate Bishop's great. I love Hawkeye, and if they do just Kate Bishop Hawkeye from now on, I'll be satisfied. I love Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, but Kate Bishop's Hawkeye run in the comic books are great. Them together is even better. So Kate Bishop, he's gonna get what, Miss Marvel, and then who Shang-Chi would be cool. I don't really know, but I also can't figure out yet how this connects to Doomsday at all. At the end credit scene, we see the Fantastic Four ship coming into play, which I think is cool. They kind of spoiled it. I mean, with the song credit, I'm sitting there. I was like, "Hey, babe, did they play the Fantastic Four theme?" And she's like, "How the fuck do I know? I don't watch these movies." And I was like, "That's a fair point. 1, but 2, I think that they're wrong. I think that they fucked this up." And then obviously at the end they played it. But the spaceship coming in, kind of confusing to me. My theory was that this movie, Void, was going to void out like the world, our world, and then it was going to end on like a tragedy almost, and then Fantastic Four was going to also end on a tragedy with Galactus like killing everybody. And just like at the beginning of Secret Wars, Reed Richards was going to create this, ship. And then the very end of Fantastic Four, or like the post-credit scene, would be them coming out and then it being Battle World. But obviously that's not happening because I'm a fucking idiot and I don't know how to do stuff. But I don't know. Who knows? My theory doesn't matter. I had no expectations for that theory. I'm not butthurt that was wrong. I'm sure, based off the track record of Marvel, I'm sure they got it sorted. The Russo brothers got it figured out. And I hope we get a new Avengers 2 with this same crew, because this crew is so good. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please like and subscribe and follow me on all the social medias. I even made a goddamn TikTok because I was told to for marketing purposes. And let's try and get to 500. Let's try and get to 500 subs. I'm seeing so many views and so many likes. Let's hit the fucking sub button for me, huh? All right. I appreciate you for watching. If you don't sub, that's okay too. And let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the Thunderbolts, because I loved it, and I know you did too. And if you want to be negative about it, go ahead, but you're wrong. So I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.